Hey YouTube, it's TCG Tacos here. Basically just wanted to bring to you things to expect while attending these ReRaise events. We look back at the Orlando event. This was the most represented deck in the room. We're talking about Suarez, since it's really accessible to all players. The majority of it you can just pick up from the Open 16 box. The only thing is that you can't really prepare for all Suarez. The core is going to be the same, which takes up like about half the deck, but then the rest of it is flex spots. It's all based on player preference, and it's never going to be the same. You might sit down across from your opponent and just see these two. It's like, oh, Suarez, but you don't know what else they're going to play. There's so many different ways to play it. As you can see here, we've got 4 different Suarez decks that we're going to be going over today. Looking at this one is more control heavy. It's got Stolas to protect you from summons or board clears. Same with Amaterasu's, the Mist Dragons, do with the Break Zone are also summons. You got board clear here like Shantoto, Titan. Ace is pretty nice. It's really easy to get the 9k off of that. And it just gets pretty big since you're going to be having a lot of different elements on board. Has a cute combat trick with the Carnbuckle. You know, if you just have these set up, sometimes you'll get the card draw. It doesn't happen often, but it is pretty nice when it does happen. And the Motley Illness is just a big, 9k forward. It does have protection from damage at least once per turn, and then you do have the possibility of clearing 2 forwards if they don't deal with it. And the Terrors to pick back up the summons. Then we've got Kyle McGinty's list. He went undefeated in Swiss. I can see here it's very aggressive. It's got Behemoth K, which I've never really seen in the deck before. Kadaj to deal with the mirror. Axstar for your EX burst. Your Odin's to clear forwards, as well as Titan. Squall also makes blocking very awkward. Zidane, if you're able to push out your backups really quickly and then you're able to drop this, it's really awkward for control matches. You just wind up like picking up a lot of cards. And you see the Althea here, it's basically here to reuse your cards. You can reuse your Elvis, Shantoto, a lot of different things, Cecil. There's a lot of things that you can do with it, and your Stola here is basically just to get under. As I mentioned, like there's a lot of representation in Suarez, so they're going to be seeing a lot of mirror matches, so this gets under them really well. And then if there is anything that's like 4 over, like ideally you're going to have the Aerith too, so nothing's really killing this. This is the one that came in 2nd place. This one is more focused on comboing, I suppose. It's got the Renaults here to replay your ETB effects. Sid Rendell also shuts off ETB effects, so it makes it really awkward for your opponents. Also, again, like in this matchup, since the majority of it is all ETB, they can't really do much unless they break this. Right. Summons are about the same with the Kusith, Mist Dragon. Cactuars is pretty nice, also will trigger an EX burst. Though this one is a little low on EX burst, but regardless, like hitting an EX burst off of this always feels nice. And again with the Althea, also to bounce like Elvis. I heard he did like maybe did this like 8 times in like 1 game. That's insane. Or just reuse the Toto to board clear. And this is the one that recently placed at a Japanese tournament. I believe there's actually 2 of these that made top 4. This one is more summon heavy, and it's actually got a lot more water than usual. I also noticed that they cut out the Lexa. This is interesting though. Definitely buffs the forwards by 1k with the Luca backup. Thorning basically gets you any piece. these get around the mirror since this is power reduction, and this makes them send it to the break zone, doesn't actually break it, if it's just going to kill basically anything. This helps set up your EX burst. This combos well with the Thoden. Since there's like 30 EX in this is really good. It's going to search out basically any of your FFP forwards, which is all the Suarez and the backups, and it's always live. This is kind of weird, seeing one Kadaj and one Moshiri, but I suppose like this is really good like early game, and then Moshiri like helps you close out the game. Lars is also going to set up your EX burst for the Axe Star, and pour him lets you get back any of these summons, which is like a total of 16 summons. This is really interesting. I really want to try this out. I do see here though, I did kind of cut back on the Irwin and the Merald. This isn't too heavy on the Soiree package, but still, I mean, like being able to reuse it, it's still really good. And then I haven't pulled it up, but also like what could throw you off is there's Avalanche lists that are also running these backups, so it could be confusing like sitting across. You might think you're queuing up against a Soiree matchup, but it might actually be Avalanche, so you do need to be aware of that. Then these are some of the cards that deal with it best. Ironically, they're also like in Soiree lists because they deal with the deck itself. This basically gets rid of the forwards. We talked about this. It basically shuts off their ETB triggers. This same as Kadaj deals with the break zone, as well as stopping your cards by being affected by summons, right? This is awkward, because if we got Madame Edel on board, ideally you want to do this on the Madame Edel, trying to get something, or anything else that's not Soiree. Otherwise you're going to have to wait for Madame Edel to get off board if you're going to hit another Soiree. This is also the same thing with Miss Dragon or Kadaj as far as the break zone, able to get like 2 good hits off the White Mage if you're on Wind. Kuchaspel shuts off the effect by Madame Edel, basically reducing all their damage to 0, so you'd be able to deal with it that way. And Shantoto is a board clear. It doesn't break them, so it gets around the effect that they can't be broken. These are just some of the cards. I'm sure you can think of other things. Things you want to consider in that matchup. Let's say you're afraid of getting your stuff broken, and they've already got a Merald set up. Don't kill the Merald, because then they're just going to play another one again. Or same thing like with your hand size. If your hand size is low and they've got Irwin on board, obviously you don't want to break it. Sometimes they do leave the stuff up to block though, so you do need to be aware of that. Prepare accordingly. It's really difficult. The deck is like incredibly consistent, as we mentioned before. Like it's probably like the best Swiss deck, but then once you get to top tables, that surprise element is out of there. You're able to see everything that's going on, so you're able to prepare for it. You won't be caught off guard. So yeah, that's pretty much for Suarez. There's another deck that you'd like me to talk about, just leave it in the comments below. Thanks again for watching.